Hello friends, in today's video we are going to set up the Angular development environment in our machine. So before I start, I just want to tell you that setting up the development environment is mostly same for most of the machine. So I always use Mac machine for development, and I am very fond of Linux machines. So sometime I'm using Linux, sometime using Windows or Mac, and this time I'm using ChromeBook. So ChromeBook, a lot of people think that ChromeBook is not great tool for development environment, and I just want to prove them wrong today. So let me show you how to set up your Angular development environment on a Chromebook. And before I start, I just want to tell you again, the most of the steps to set up the Angular development environment is going to be the same. The only thing Chrome is a little bit special, so I just want to tell you. So in the new version of Chromebooks, as you can see, so if you have to go to your settings tab. But this step is only for the Chromebook. Now in new Chrome OS, what they have done, they are allowing your Linux apps to run inside that. So all you need to do, go to your settings and you see the Linux beta. You will see a button called turn on. Just click on that button, turn on, and it's going to set up the Linux environment on your machine. In my case, it's already done, so you don't need to do that again. So again, just to go to settings, Linux beta, click on turn on, and it's going to take a few minutes, and you will have Linux ready on your machine. So as soon as your Linux have you on a machine, the only thing you will see on your Google Chrome OS here, or any Chrome OS machine here. I have a Samsung Chromebook, so all you will see a button called a icon for Linux apps, and inside that Linux, this is what you need. You need a terminal window here. So it will open a terminal window, and that's all actually basically you need to set up your Linux environment. Okay, now the next step for any Angular environment, you need the NodeJS. So in case if you don't know what NodeJS is a runtime JavaScript runtime engine. So I'm going to grab the latest copy 11.10.1. So if you are using a Windows machine, it's very simple. Just go to the download and click on the download for your Windows installer. So just click on the zip file. Okay, let me close this because I already have this one. Okay, so let's go to the download again one more time. So for Windows installer, you click on the zip file, and for the Mac, you can have the .tar file, or just download the installer. So the best thing in some of the Windows guys, they complain that do not have the admin rights on your machine. So in that case, all you need to do, you can download the entire source code, and all you need to do once you have the source code, you just extract as a zip file. You can copy to any C drive or any drive in your machine, and all you need to do in Windows machine, set up a new environment variable and give the path to node.exe. That's all you need. And if you're on a Linux machine, Mac machine, or Chrome OS, you just need to set up the path. So next thing is what I'm going to do. Let me close this app. Okay. Next thing, what you need to do here. First, you need to run this command, sudo apt-get update. Okay. So let's go back to the command prompt window. Okay. Next step is, in case if you don't have the curl utility, you go get that. But if you already have the curl, well, it doesn't hurt to run it again. Okay, it's not going to do any damage. So third thing is, once you have that, you can run the curl command to get the latest Node version. So in my case, I have the 11. I'm planning to download the latest 11 version. So all you need to do, copy paste and run this command. What it's going to do is going to grab the Node 11 version on from the deb-nodesource.com. Okay. Next thing is, you need to run the install. It should complete very quickly. Perfect. And next thing is, just go and install the Node.js. Okay, so again, Node.js is installed on my machine. Okay, what you can do, you can just do a node-v. It will tell you the Node version right now. But just in case if you don't see that, just get out of that, open your command prompt window again, and make sure that you have the Node.js. Just run the node-v. It should come back with the Node version here. Now npm, that Node package manager, it comes pre-built in with the Node, but just in case, I have a habit of checking the latest npm version here. Okay, now I'm going to exit from the terminal window. Well, you can use this terminal window to install Angular as well, but I just want to show you something else. I prefer using a code editor. So again, you can use any code editor of your choice. It could be, in my case, is a Visual Studio, or you can use Sublime, Atom, or whatever you want. Okay. Next thing is I'm going to install the Angular. So let's go head out to angular.io. Okay, in angular.io, I believe the latest version is as of today is 7.27, but I think, like, even the future versions, I believe the installations will be very same. All they are saying, the prerequisite is that you need to have the latest Node.js. Even though you see that version 8.x is fine, I have a 11 version, so I should be fine. So as long as you have the Node.js, next thing you need to do, npm install -g angular -cli. So here again, open any command prompt window, and then just check the Node version, and as long as you have that, you just say npm install -g. That means I'm going to install it globally at angular /CLI. So I already have that, so I'm not going to do that. So, but again, make sure that you run this command, and once you run this command, next thing you want to do, you want to check your Angular version. So ng-v will come back with your latest Angular versions for install in your machine. Perfect. So next thing is, again, now you have Angular ready on your machine. Okay, so that's all it takes. That's all it takes to start working on the development environment. But I want to, again, this is a very short tutorial, so I want to take this opportunity, and because I know that I'm going to use Material Angular IO, let me show you what that is. Material.angular.io, because I want to use, you can use, again, it's up to you, you can use Project Clarity or Bootstrap, anything is fine, but in this particular app, I'm using the Angular Material. So I just want to walk you through how to install this Angular Material as well. Okay, the next thing is what you want to do here, any directory. So for example, I'm in a root directory, my root directories app, and I want to create a new Angular app. So just say ng new, and I'm going to call it a, say whatever, whatever your app name is. So I'm going to call it a mobile app. Okay, next thing is going to ask you, do you want to include the routing? So let's wait for it. Yes, I want to include the routing. Okay. Next thing is going to ask you, do you want to use the CSS or the advanced cascading style sheet framework? So I'm going to use the plain CSS in this case. So I'm just going to hit enter. Okay. Next thing is, I think it will begin installing Angular CLI. Angular, it will begin creating the new Angular app on my local machine. So I'm going to pause my recording, and I will come back when it's done. Okay, so my installation, the new Angular app is created. But before so at this point, all I need to do, let me go to this app. I just want to show you that I have a working angular.json file here. Let me close this. Okay, and you will see the latest version of 7.2, most of the level 7.2 here. So perfect, that's pretty good. So next thing is, if I go and do an ng serve, is going to start my app. But before I do that, let me go first, cd into this directory. Cd, let me just clear this screen, so it will, you can see this better. So let me now cd into mobile app, cd into mobile app. Okay, then do an ls. At this point, if I do an ng serve, is going to start my app. But before I do that, I want to quickly, because my intention is to install the Material Angular material.angular.io. Again, this step is optional. So if you are not planning to use Angular Material, do not do that. But because I am planning to do that, I'm going to copy paste this thing here. Okay, copy paste. Okay, one more thing. So I know, because I have done it like so many times, because I know I need one more Angular package here. So I'm just going to do that in one command. So there's one more package, hammer.js. Let me just type it, hammer.js. So hammer.js. Okay, perfect. So what it's going to do is going to add these extra packages to my mobile app. Okay, now while we are waiting, let me do a couple of some more things here. Okay, Now let's go back here. So as you can see, angular.json. Okay, so in angular.json, every component you are going to create is going to add an app in front of that. Some people don't like it, some people don't even care, so it's up to you. Okay, I'm not going to force you anything. Okay, so it's up to you, totally your choice. Second thing is, I have a habit of keeping all my favicons and everything under the assets directory. Okay, I do not like all the assets, like all the images and everything. It's okay, so I'm going to put assets, as you said, in front of this style sheet and everything. That looks good. So let me save this, close this thing here. Now, next thing is, as I said, like right now, if I go my inside my source directory here, oops, I should see an assets directory, and right now it is blank. So I already have a favicon icon. What I'm going to do here, let me just copy paste the. So I'm going to get rid of this assets directory here. Let me go to the attendance directory. So I have a backup. Let me just copy paste that. Okay, looks good. So inside my assets directory, as you can see, my favicon.ico, it looks like this. And there are a lot of other icons here. I'll come back to this. These are the material icons. I'll come back to that in 1 minute. Okay, but right now, so the next thing is I want to do here, let's go to your index.html file. As you can see, my favicon.icon is here. So what I want to do here, I just want to put that assets, and inside that assets, there is a favicon.ico. Okay, perfect. Now let me save this. Now it's I think it's we should change this your description as well here. Okay, mobile app or whatever you want to call it. That's it, pretty simple. Okay, next thing is what I want to do here. I want to take this opportunity here and create a couple of the components. Right now, as if I do an ng serve, it's going to serve a vanilla application here. There's nothing out in there. Okay, so as you can see, my app.module.ts file is pretty blank. Same thing as app.routing.module.ts. There's nothing out there. So let me open my app.module.ts file. Okay. Okay, perfect. And I want you to pay attention to this app directory here. As you can see, there is nothing out there. Okay, so this time I want to create a couple of components. So now I know my app that I am going to use. So I'm going to refer back to my GitHub repository. But now what I want to do here, I want to create all the components what I will be using in my application here. So let's see. So let's go back to this app, and this time ng generate component, and I'm going to put that inside the shared directory here, shared, and I'm going to call it about us. Now -- spec equals to false. So what this is going to do is going to skip creating a .spec file here, and flat equals to true means is going to skip creating a subfolder inside that. So that's all it's going to do. Okay. And at the same time, so the advantage of using the Angular CLI is going to create all the different files for you, and at the same time is going to update your app.module.ts file here. Okay, see, so inside the shared directory, it has created the 3 different files here. Now at the same time, it's saying that spec is deprecated, use skip test. Okay, no big deal. So the next component, so I know I will be creating, so inside that source, let me go to my app shared. So I know I need about us, and then I need footer, header, login, sign up. So let me do one thing here. This time I'm going to say header, and this is skip test equals to true. Okay, I hope it works. It did. Okay, 2 more components here. footer, and then I need one login. I need sign up. So I'm going to skip creating those. I don't want to waste your time here in this, but what I'm going to do, basically I'm going to create two more things here. I want to show you a couple of more things. So I want to create two more services here. So just let me issue a command telling you how to generate a service, just so that I know it's very simple, very similar, but I just want to get it off, mark it as done. So services, and I'm going to call it a backend. So this is where I'm going to write all my backend related code. Okay, I need one more backend service here, and this is AuthGuard. Okay, perfect. Now next thing is I skipped a couple of things here in my Angular material setup here, but what I want to do here, so now all my components, most of my components are created. So now it is time to shoot the ng-serve. Okay, and let's go back to our setting up the rest of the Angular material things here. Okay, so while we are waiting, now let's go back to as you see, the advantage of creating all those components through Angular CLI is you don't need to do those imports on here. Okay, next thing is, I believe here what you want to do here, if you're using the Angular material, and if you want to use the what do you call it, if you want to use the material icons, which I highly recommend, you need to copy paste those things here. Okay, oops, copy paste. Okay, so the advantage is, now if I go to my app.component.html, and how would I know that it is working fine or not? So I'm going to get rid of all this vanilla code here. Okay, here, and say mat icon, and I'm going to just say home. So it should display a home icon here, but I'm not expecting to, because it should give me an error. Okay, next thing is okay, so I need to also import hammer.js. So let's go to your main.ts file here. Okay, anywhere you have to import the Control C, Control V. That's pretty much it. Okay. Next thing is, I think sorry, I'm just going going in the reverse order. One thing is, if you are planning to use any of the Angular pre-built themes here, so you go to your styles.css. But again, remember, I'm not using the style.css anymore. Okay, otherwise you have to put it here, but I'm not using it anymore. If you remember, in the angular.json file, I changed it to use it to my assets directory here. So let's go to this, and inside my assets directory, styles.css, you just need to add it there. Okay, and here what you can do, in addition, if you have some extra style sheet, please, that's the advantage of using this style.css here. So I'm going to use this pre-built theme here, copy paste, and add all my rest of the style sheets here. So that part is also done. Okay, the last but not the least, I think whenever you are planning to use the Angular material icons, what you can do here, you can import the individual component like this, but I highly recommend creating a new custom modules like this. So in my case, what you can do, so I'm just going to copy paste this one entire file here, and you can find this file here. So go to this one, shared custom.material.module.ts. So in my file, what I'm doing, I have imported all of the individual modules what I am going to use in my app. So because I know, it makes life my easy, so I just created most of the things, whatever I'm going to use, I'm going to put it there. Okay, and one more thing I want to mention here, if you are planning to use any offline icon, so if you are building this app and your intention is that you will be available offline, do not use Google material icon here. Instead, use this offline icons, say SVG icons. So this, what is going to do is, so remember, in your index.html file, you had this Angular Google material icons. Every time your app is loaded, it goes to the Google API and download that font. But if your intention to build a code for offline, obviously is not going to work. So what this is going to do is going to replace that and instead use the SVG icons from your local hard drive. It's very simple code, but just want to let keep that in mind. If you are building some app which is 100% online, go ahead and use that one. Okay, otherwise not a big deal. So next thing is I want to do here, again I'm going to copy paste that code. Okay, so I copy paste this thing here. Next thing is I need to go to my app.module.ts, app.module.ts, and here I must import that, otherwise it's not going to work. So let me import my custom material module here. And next thing is I need to, because it's a module, I need to include that in my imports array. So let me quickly do that as well. Save this. So now let me go back to my command prompt window. I hope everything compiles well. So at this point, I think that's pretty much it. It should work fine because as long as it compiles fine, that you have your Angular development environment set up appropriately. Let me just go back to localhost 4200 while we are waiting. Okay. And I just want to make sure that there's no error. If there is no, that means your Angular development environment is all set up. So in next videos, follow-up videos, I'm going to start working on the pages, the social authentication, your database connection, and everything. But at this point, I think everything else looks good. So I just want to wait for a couple of more seconds, make sure that it compiles pretty good.